Hello. Hi, you are now listening to the Pencast and watching on the Pencast over the purethamma.com. My name is Venerable Paidun. I'm going to use this space to explain you some of the Dhamma from time to time using the Pencast technology. I gotten this email question from Susan. She asking about the word of Buddha. The word of Buddha said, without understanding the characteristic nature of our feeling, we will never discover the nature of our mental attitude. And without discovering that, we can never put an end to our emotional problems. Okay, this is the email written to me. In order to understand this words of Buddha, Susan asking what are the characteristics, what are the feelings, and things like that. In order to understand these whole messages from the Buddha, at first you need to understand basically three things first. The first one being the characteristic. The second thing is you need to understand this thing called the concept of dependent origination. Basically, it's just the cause and effect. I'm gonna use the three parts of the different pages to explain the three different things. The third thing you need to understand is come back to the feeling and how does the cause and effect, characteristic, and relationship make this feeling become so important as a part of the whole messages that you need to understand to end the emotional problem, the cessation of the suffering. First of all, I want to explain about the characteristic first. The characteristics, or in fact, should be called as an attribute. Is basically the properties of anything, any object, any beings, anything has its own properties or has its own attribute. Let's give you an example of this Alex. Okay, Alex has his physical attribute, physical properties. For example, his height, 125, his weight, maybe 70, he's got white complexion, things like that. Is all his physical properties. Another properties that he has could be his education. He graduated from this place, went to the university, blah blah blah. One of the things that he has is the natural characteristic. When Buddha talks about the natural characteristic of any beings, including human beings, could be animals, pens, computer, a mark, or anything, one of the things is impermanence. Impermanence. How come Alex is impermanent? Because he's Buddha one day. Sooner or later, he cannot be live forever. So that's why it's impermanent. The second quality that he have is he's subject to change. Subject to change. Every single minute, single second that pass, his fingernail get longer, his hair get longer, and that is things that change in a human being, in us. Okay, and the third thing that is his characteristic is anatta. This anatta is some translated as in non-self. But I think to be able to understand this correctly, let's use the word a Pali word called anatta. What is anatta means? Is never have this word before the Buddha exists. Okay, before the Buddha time, this word doesn't exist. Buddha invented this word to explain the characteristic of the beings of everything. Let me give you this example. Why does this word come about? Before the Buddha time, there are two extremes. This extreme, the one side of it is the existence. There's belief that everything exists. There's nothing gone. It will be there all the time. For example, mountain and earth and all that. The other extreme is being a denial. For example, Alex, right? If we say Alex is here all the time, this message is not right, because 100 years from now, he is not going to be there. Or 100 years ago, he wasn't there. Okay, so the message, the sentence say, Alex is going to be there all the time. This message is not right 100 years ago and 100 years from now. And if we say, oh, Alex is not going to be there for us, and this message is not right, because how about he? He is here now. Alex is here now. Okay, even 100 years ago or 100 years later, he can be there. So this message is not correct at the present time. That's why Buddha came up with this word anatta to explain the characteristic, to accept that, oh, it's not going to be there 100 years from now, but it is here today. That's why we use the word anatta. In fact, the non-self, right, is the result of being anatta. Non-self is a result of being anatta, because anything that anatta will have three things, three qualities that added to this anatta, which is not mine. I am not this, and it's not myself. Oh. And that is the quality of anatta. Let's continue with the second part on the dependent origination.